Hello, everybody, and welcome back. It is Friday, August 8th. We got a giant 4-game slate to go over. Sorry if you heard echo there. Apparently, I had our YouTube open. Um, Took that away. All should be good now. Not sure if you guys heard it or not. But let's dive in. Before we do, I'm your host, Tyler Wiemann. Come join us at LineStar. If you don't already have our app or aren't already a premium subscriber, go to the app. Go to the App Store, Android or iOS. You get a 7-day free trial if you download it there. Come join us. Now, we're going to get into it. We had the big time 14-game slate. I do want to just throw it out there. I was at the dentist just a little bit ago. My mouth is a little numb. So sorry if I'm not talking as clearly as I do sometimes. Now, let's get it. Thank you. Get some. Glad that it's good now. It should stay that way now. Let's get over to DraftKings. We'll start off with the pitchers to consider. We're going to skip the review of yesterday for a couple reasons. One, I'm just shorter on time today as I had to go to the dentist. And then two, yesterday's slate was only a 3-gamer, and it was a weird one because it started real early, but then still ended late. But so we're going to skip that one and just dive right into it. Starting with pitchers, Tarik Skubal, 16% owned. Man is 11.6K, which means his prices actually came down recently. But, I mean, what can you say about this guy? He is just absolutely dominant. He's going to continue that way. I don't care who he's against. He is always going to be considered. 35% K rate over the last 20 and a 1.7 FIP. Just absolutely unreal numbers. StatCast data, I don't even care because his numbers are that good. He lets a lot of fly balls, but it's like 28% soft contact. It's cans of corn, that he's given out to his fielder. So then you go to the team splits. Only a 243 average, 234 ISO. We know they hit the ball hard, but all in all, they're striking out at 28% over the last 20. And so from an upside standpoint, I absolutely love this spot per Skubal, and he will be one of my higher owned pitchers. I think on a 14-game slate at 11.6K, I really don't need to worry about being able to fit him in. There's going to be plenty of value you can lean on if you need to on a slate this big. Next, we got Zach Gallen, 8K, only a LineStar projection of 14, where Skubal's at 28. And I don't know if we can give up that much of a projection, especially on this slate. And Zach Gallen's in a great spot versus this Colorado Rockies team that is fairly poor outside of Colorado. Now, Gallen has been decent lately, 3.46 FIP and a 20% K rate, but over the long term, 4.83 and a 20.8% K rate. His StatCast data is okay. A little bit too much hard contact, but all in all, it's totally fine. Now, the Rockies, excuse me. The Rockies have been decent here, and over the short term, at least, with a 284.5 average, 188 ISO, but they're striking out a ton. They are getting on base. The upside is here for this. I just don't love it. I think there's plenty of other ways we can go on this slate. I don't think we need to force Zach Gallen in just because he's getting a little bit of ownership. Josh, you're absolutely welcome for the picks. Let's get the money. Let's get some takedowns today. You got to love it for sure. So yeah, Gallen is just not one of my favorites, and I'm probably going to go elsewhere. Next, we got Joe Ryan, 9,100, 17-point projection, 16 on the consensus. He is also coming in at mid-teens ownership here. Ryan makes a lot of sense. He isn't in the best spot ever versus the Royals. Royals 266 average, ISO just over 200, 345 WOBA, all pretty good numbers. My issue with taking Ryan is this 16.3% K rate over the last 20 for the Royals, 17.4 over the last 150. They're just not a team that strikes out a lot. But BVP data, Joe Ryan has been exceptional versus them. However, once again, that lower K rate is showing its face here. I think Ryan's in a good spot. I don't mind a little bit of him, but I'm not going to go super hard on him. I do worry about the ceiling a little bit. However, the guy has been dealing lately. 2.77 FIP over his last 5 with a 28% K rate. Over the last 20, solid numbers as well. All in all, Ryan is a very good pitcher. 9,100 is a cheap price for how he has been throwing. But I do worry about upside in this particular matchup a little bit when we have some other spots that are very interesting to me. If he shows up in lineups, I'm going to be fine with it. But I'm just not trying to get way overweight on him. And I also don't want to be way underweight on him. Next, after Joe Ryan, we got Nick Pivetta. Padres versus Red Sox at home. Pivetta has been way, way better at home. Now, if you guys are not familiar with LineStar, these emojis we have here are all part of the alert score. It is why we have a 4-star alert score here for Pivetta. Super pitcher-friendly park. Boston lineup has been hitting very well. Pivetta has allowed too many barrel balls. Boston has hit the ball hard, but Pivetta is averaging 44% more fantasy points at home. He has been much, much better at home. And I think this goes to how, Pivetta throws and really the longevity of his career. He's always been a very good pitcher, had big time upside, but every game he allows a couple balls to be hit very hard. And when they're in a park like Petco that plays the home runs down, it's hard to hit home runs there. I think that suits his skill sets a little bit more. And because of that, he has just been way better at home. He limits less runs. His strikeout stuff is still there. And I really like the upside even in this matchup. 3.24 FIP over the last 20, 3.03 over the last 5. Solid mid-20s K rate. Fly balls elevated. The issue here is the barrel balls for me. And, the hard contact. He's going to have to miss some bats versus this Boston team, but I think he can. And over the last 20, Boston has struggled a little bit, even though over the longer time frame, this offense has been solid. I don't mind going after it a little bit here, and I'm going to definitely get some Pivetta at home. I think people will be scared to play him, but I am absolutely not. I will be getting some Pivetta for sure. Tanner Bybee, 7,600, 16-point projection. He is definitely one of the more friendly value spots here. 4.25 FIP over his last 5, 4.78 over his last, over the last 20 is 4.25. 4.78 is over the last 5. White Sox striking out a decent amount. Averaging 35% less fantasy points away is my big worry here. I don't mind getting to some Bybee, but I am a little bit worried about him going away. This White Sox team has been hitting very well, and he's giving up 34% hard contact. Not a number I like to see with this White Sox team and how it's been hitting recently. Also, the BVP, small sample size, but 296 average versus Bybee doesn't exactly strike fear into me. What did he do last time out too? It was also in Chicago, 5.2 innings, 91 pitches, 2 earned runs, 5 Ks. I worry about his K upside in this matchup when he's away. I think that's the big time reason why he is averaging so many less fantasy points away. He just always doesn't have that K stuff while he is away. Now, this number also could be played up a little bit because look at what we've seen recently. Went off at Detroit, went off at the A's, struggled a little bit, did okay versus the White Sox, did okay versus KC. I just don't see a ceiling outcome here for him. I think mid-high teens are very likely. Just pluses on that I do worry about. But I don't mind getting to some of him at his price. Merrill Kelly, 8.6K, 3.35 FIP over the last 5, 3.1 over the last 20. He's a solid pitcher in a new organization with the Rangers in an okay spot. I mean, Phillies have came alive a little bit. Josh, you took Ryan over 17.5 outs. I don't mind that whatsoever. I think it is an interesting spot. He's been solid against them and can work efficiently and deeper into games. Getting back to Merrill Kelly here, there's some upside in the matchup. Philly has been striking out a bit recently, so that is interesting to me, but they've also started coming alive. Schwarber has been hitting consistently all season long. Bryce Harper, super hot. I worry about the matchup a little bit, and 8,600, it's not like he's super cheap. I'm fine to get some, but definitely not a core target of mine. Now, let's get to some pivots. Christopher Sanchez only coming at 13% owned. A great matchup. Texas has struggled versus lefties. 28% K rate versus lefties. 302 WOBA. If we go over to the last 20, it's up to a 28% K rate. These alert scores are kind of in the middle of this 150 and 20 game split. So that's why we see multiple different numbers everywhere. It kind of just, we have it at different time frames to give you a bigger picture of what is going on. But look, we got almost a 27% combined K rate. Sanchez been great. 2.72 FIP over the last 20, 2.74 over the last 5, mid-20s K rate. StatCast data is great. He's in a great spot. I absolutely love it. The other thing is he is a guy that is, when he's on, he's really on. So we also have a huge ceiling at 9,800. Sanchez, I think, is one of the great pivots of the day, and I'm going to probably have a lot of him. Next, we got Brandon Woodruff, 10.3K. He's been solid. The K rate is up there, 35% over the last 5 games with the 3.4 FIP. Too many fly balls for sure at 30% hard contact, but all in all, I don't mind some Woodruff. My worry here is that he went 88 pitches last time out, and that is now his high for the season. Maybe they let him go a little bit more, but I would be surprised if they just let him go full out. I don't mind the spot. Mets have definitely struggled hitting the ball recently, and we got a combined K rate of 30%. So the upside is there, but at 10.3K, I worry about his pitch count a little bit. Still don't mind some, but I do think he's going too low owned. Thus, I wanted to talk about him. Next, we got Luis Castillo, 8,100. I would much prefer going him than a Merrill or a Bybee, who are much higher owned. Castillo's been dominating lately. 2.62 FIP with a 23% K rate. Fly ball rate's 40, but hey, he's at home where he pitches much better, and it's hard to hit a home run there. So I'm very interested in this spot. And BVP 222, 33% K rate, or almost 33. The team splits work in his favor. They're striking out at 23%. I am very interested in this spot. 23% combined K rate. Very, very interesting versus the Rays. Now, the Rays are a good offense, but Castillo at home and in his recent form has just been too good. I'm going to definitely get some of him. And then let's go down further. I got to talk about Seth Lugo. I do it consistently. The guy just has too big of a ceiling for what his price is generally at 8,300. Now, he is a guy that can work efficiently and get deep into games, but his recent form has not been good, and that is my worry about him. 5.6 FIP over his last 5. Now, he is a guy that always has an elevated FIP over his ERA and somehow just gets away with it consistently. But 5.6 is real high, so I am absolutely worried about that. 38% hard contact and a lot of barrel balls, but hey, there's a reason that he's going low single digits as far as ownership. That ceiling is too high not to consider it at this ownership. Next, we got Edward Cabrera versus the Atlanta Braves. I'm sorry to you Braves fans out there, but they're just not hitting the ball that well. They did well yesterday versus Yuri Perez, but I think this is a much different spot. 3.79 FIP over his last 20, 3.33 over the last 5, 24% K rate in bowl. StatCast data is good. The splits are fine. BVP data is good. Only 38 plate attempts, but also a 31.6% K rate. I'm very interested in Cabrera at super low ownership. He's another pivot that I just kind of like a little bit more than, say, Bybee or Merrill Kelly and going less owned. Very interested in those. Senga, I would love to have some consideration in for my best ball playoff teams, but I just can't do it in DFS. Not today. Now, let's get over to our pitchers to consider on FanDuel. We got Skubal, we got Sanchez. Those are my two favorite. Now, Skubal only being 600 more than Sanchez is wild to me. I'm probably going to get a lot of Skubal. Don't mind a little bit of Hunter Brown. We had not talked about him, but this is a guy that was absolutely crushing the first half of the season. He's fallen off a little bit. If he can get back to that, first half type mojo that he was carrying, then he's in a very good spot and underpriced at 9,700. His ceiling has him underpriced. So I don't mind a little bit, but it is a tough spot versus the Yankees. They just got a lot of bats that they can throw at him and a lot of lefties to get that righty-lefty matchup. If we're not going there, then I absolutely think if you want to pay down, Cabrera is an option. Joe Ryan's an option. Woodruff, Castillo, Pivetta, I all think are low-owned options here. I just think the ceiling is there. And with so many pitchers on the slate today, I would say don't be too worried about getting away from some of the chalk. But also should say that hitting is going to be so spread out, the hitting ownerships, that you can eat chalk at pitcher and it really doesn't matter. There's so many different spots to be able to get different today. So let's get over to some stack attacks now before we can round this out. If anybody has any, pitchers or stacks that they want me to look at, please comment. All right, start off here. I'll start off by hitting weather. It's pretty much the same across the entire slate, either if you're in a dome or not. It's pretty much most places mid 80s, low 80s, the high 80s. Wind very light, either coming in or going across the field. So really don't need to worry about that too much. The best hitting weather might actually be in LA, and it's high 70s there with like 10-mile-an-hour winds blowing out. But all in all, pretty much same everywhere. All right, Diamondbacks versus Austin Gomber. Look, Austin Gomber has been poor all season long, been one of our favorite spots to pick on, and I think we can absolutely go back here. Behind him, awful bullpen. I love Gomber. Love stacking against Gomber, I should say. absolutely going to the Diamondbacks. Then we got Miami popping up versus Bryce Elder. Miami's offense has been hitting lately, and Elder hasn't been great. We like picking on Elder. Absolutely fine going back. Then we also have Cleveland popping up a little bit. I don't mind getting a little bit, but it's definitely not a target of mine. Highest projected lineups we got here. The A's. Was I not all the way at the top? Yeah, I was. All right. Highest projected, we got the A's. Absolutely love this spot versus Sagano. Also, I do have to warn, though, that Sagano is a solid pitcher. He is a little deceptive, but he doesn't throw hard. And with that, I think the A's can absolutely capitalize on that. And this Baltimore Park is playing up to the bats much more this year versus opposed to other years with them moving in the fences. Do I like Hunter Brown over 6Ks? Let's take a look at it real quick. K rate 30% over the last 20. Yankees strike out at a decent clip over the long run. 25% K rate over the BVP. I don't mind it. I think that K rate is a little lower for him. I think most likely he probably does end up at 6. But I wouldn't really want the under on that one. I think he's going to have to get lit up to go to the under. I just don't necessarily see the Yankees really getting over there. So I don't mind Hunter Brown. Toronto versus Kershaw. Kershaw is not the same pitcher he was. He does not have the dominant strikeout stuff. 3.48 FIP over the last 5 starts. It's also not a spot I really want to target. I don't mind to get a little Toronto, but not going hard. Dodgers versus Scherzer. Another guy that is just not the same. 4.44 FIP over his last 5, 4.6 over the last 20. I'm going to get some Dodger bats. I think there's probably a couple home runs in that game, probably by the Dodgers. Opposed to Toronto. Toronto generally doesn't hit that well away. They also have the Coors hangover. They just absolutely lit it up in Coors. And I just can't do it. Highest value, Cleveland popping up, Miami, White Sox, and Miami. I do love the Miami value. They're going to get some of them. Let's go to the high ceiling here. And we got the A's and Toronto. Talked about them already. So let's get to the leverage. Seattle versus Rasmussen. This Seattle lineup has been very good. I do believe Naylor left yesterday with a shoulder injury. Him out of the lineup will definitely hurt that. We have no word yet if he's going to be in or out of the lineup, but just as a warning for those stacks. Then Mets versus Woodruff. I don't really like it. Woodruff has been good. Mets have been cold. Hard for me to want to pick on a very good pitcher when the team has been so cold. And then Boston versus Pivetta. I don't mind a little bit. I am a Padre homer. You all know it. I think Pivetta is way better at home, which he is. But he also can let up a couple home runs, and that's really all you need to start really changing the entire game. If he lets up a couple home runs with, 2 guys on base both times, you got 6 runs right there. And while the bullpen, you don't really want to face for the Padres, if you can get to the bullpen a little bit early, it does change that narrative a little bit. So I don't mind a little bit of Boston, but I'm not going to go super hard. Let's click the teams tab here. So highest implied run total, we got Arizona at 5.4. I love the spot. Then we got the A's at 5. I absolutely love this spot for the A's. Also at Baltimore at 5. Baltimore is one of my favorite spots. The A's are one of my favorite spots. And then Dodgers at 4.7. Cubs 4.6. We're against McGreevy here, 4.33 FIP over his last 5 starts. The bullpen's okay. I don't mind some Cubs bats. They're just been a little cold. Tigers versus me Angels, and Kyle Hendricks. The guy that I hate stacking against more than most, just because he's really not very good pitcher at this point in his career, but he tends to go give 3 earned runs and go 6 innings, just not giving enough time for that bullpen to really implode. I don't mind some. This bullpen is too bad to not consider some Detroit, but I don't absolutely love the spot. And then Lugo. Lugo's another kind of Hendricks guy. I don't really like it. TK, I'm glad you like that we're doing these lives. It was a little bit of a change we just had to make, and hopefully more people like it. And with that, I should also remind everybody that there will be a prop show in a little bit once I'm done with this. Just got to finalize some of my research for our props. We did go 3-0 yesterday. So we will be giving somebody away $20. And yeah, so Minnesota versus Lugo, it's another spot. I don't love it. Padres versus Walker Buehler. Absolutely love this spot. I really think the Padres offense is going to start crushing here with the new additions. It just helps the back end of that lineup so much more. We get more guys on base for Tatis, Arise, Merrill, Machado. It's only good things here. Jake Irvin, love going against him. However, the one issue, San Francisco is the only place that is not 80 degrees. It is mid-60s. The way the stadium's built, the wind doesn't really help it too much. If you want to get a little bit of Giants, I'm fine with it. I'm probably not going to get too much on this big slate. I just think there's so many other ways to go. Miami at 4.2, when you come down the list here, is one of my favorite stacks. Definitely am interested in them as a low owned and value stack type spot. Outside of that, if you're coming down here, you're really going for a leverage stack, and I don't really love any of those spots. So that's going to do it for us all today, guys. Happy to be here. Happy that you guys all joined me, and let's make some money. We'll be back on Monday with more. Talk to you all later. Let's win all the money. I'll be back in probably about 30 minutes or so for the prop show. Talk to you all later. Have a good one. Peace.